We are now in Mesa Verde Park, and we're looking at Point Lookout, which is that plateau is way up there. Look at all those beautiful clouds. We're headed to the Pueblo dwellings, the Cliff Palace. Alright, so we're going through a tunnel at Mesa Verde. Oh, lights!
Lights on. Oh my gosh, Dennis. I say it's really dark in here.
It's dark even with my lights on. That was crazy. It got dark so fast. Well, here we are at the Overlook.
About halfway there.
Halfway there to the Cliff Palace. So this is the Montezuma Overlook. A lot of grand views here in the into the valley. We're getting ready for the Cliff Palace tour, and just a slight little walk down here, and there's the tour direction right there. We'll see how that goes. Here we are hiking the trail to the Cliff Palace. Try this again, walking down the steps to the tour. And this is what we got to see over there. Whoa, look at that. Ooh, coming through this very narrow cavern. Down the steps into this great big valley. Definitely on a cliff. Here she comes. She's doing it. Going to the cliff. The Cliff Palace. It's not too bad, but it's getting a little steep here, as you can see. Now we're on the asphalt trail. That's where we were, right up there. And oh, look, there's our first view right there. Right through the trees. We gotta climb the ladder. Here we go. Ugh. Up the ladder. One rung at a time. Got some ruins over there. Wow. Amazing. They even have some round towers up there.
So, welcome to Cliff Palace. This is the largest cliff dwelling in the world. Cliff Palace, 150 rooms, 23 Kivas, 150 rooms. The follow-up question is how many people? Usually about anywhere between 80 to 120 at a given time. We'll settle on 100. Cliff Palace was rediscovered in 1888. One of the things that was really important here is the connection that the people here had to cut down a tree with a stone axe. It's like trying to cut down a tree with a hammer. It doesn't really work very well. It's a very slow process, and you have to really have a lot of power. Everyone in the area would have been chipping in if they had a minute to spare. This was a big community effort to build this thing, and there are lots of other cliff dwellings in this canyon that were inhabited at the same time. So don't think of this so much as these were built for like survival or anything like that. This was a thriving community in those days. This canyon was essentially a city in that kind of sense, in the archaic sense. But if you could see through trees and rocks, you'd be able to see like 5 from where we're standing, including Cliff Palace. So these are our communities. People on the other side of the canyons would have communicated over here. There's a cliff dwelling right across the canyon called Kokopelli House. That is that has another spring in it. So this cliff dwelling has a seep spring in it that is would have been it's dried up now, but it would have been a source of water for the people who lived here. And that would have been a big driving force in why people moved down into the canyons, is to be closer to resources like the springs, like the water. There's a common assumption that I still hear among a lot of folks, and it's not actually true, is that these were built for some kind of defensive purpose. That's not actually the case, and really that idea doesn't hold a lot of water when you consider, first of all, the stronger arguments for why people would move down here, such as overpopulation on the mesa tops, because keep in mind, plenty of people still lived up there while everyone lived down here. The seep springs are down here. You've also got your farming up there, so you have to climb up and down the mesa, the cliffs, all the time to get to your farms, to actually do your farming. Color is extremely important. So these would have been plastered over not only with like white plaster, but also with like reds and yellows. They would have gotten dye from out here with all the wild plants that we have.
And you can do this quickly, so you can really capture it.
So, right here we've got a kiva in front of us. Kivas are these big round structures. And I'll give a quick explanation of what a kiva is. So at the time, the ancestral Pueblo would have used these for those ceremonial religious purposes, but also for plenty of other things. They would have used them for basically on a day in and day out basis. They would have used them, they would play games in the kiva, they would have had family, bonding and community activities in the kiva. They would have gambled in the kiva. They would have done all kinds of things in the kiva. And it is going to be these stone columns here. You lay beams across those, and then you lay smaller beams perpendicular to those, and then you put thatch and then mud on top of that, and that forms the roof of your kiva. And then there'd be a hole in the middle with a ladder going down into the kiva. Careful on that board.
Do not enter.
I don't know. Oh yeah, very cool. Good find. I think
The view coming out, and here we are headed out. There's the canyon where we were.